Hello everyone, today we want to walk you through the story of the portrait of Dorian Gray. This is a book written by Oscar Wilde, which explores our necessity as humans and our search for the eternal youth. The book has four main chapters, but today we want to talk about three of them. The first one is, of course, Dorian, which is one of the most beautiful men you could ever imagine. And the second and the third one are his best friends, which are both of them artists. And the book explores the idea of this amazing artist drawing Dorian's portrait and how this portrait actually gets uglier and gets older through the time. But Dorian still maintains his youth and his beautifulness. He's being handsome. And we want to talk about this idea.
So, why are we talking about Dorian Gray? Well, one of the main points of this book is vanity, because Dorian thinks that he is perfect and also all the world, but he starts to do some bad things that make him ugly. But it didn't notice in him, it noticed on his portrait. The portrait starts to look ugly, starts to look old, and have all the stuff that Dorian didn't want. He starts to notice this when his fiancée leaves him, and he noticed that the portrait is looking ugly, and he didn't want that because he wants to look perfect. He wants that vanity that he has. Also, he starts to do something bad and wrong, and all this stuff that make him ugly, not just on physical, also like in himself, is going to portray in the pain that his friend did.
Now, talking about the consequences of Dorian Gray and his vanity, we must say that it wasn't the best option to choose the vanity way, because he realizes too late that he was on the wrong way, because he killed a lot of people. So he tries to change, but it was too late. He stops his portrait because he was furious with himself. But as soon as he stops the knife on the portrait, he also dies. And the picture on the wall starts reflecting a good young man, while he starts dying on the floor, being the really ugly that he was inside.
We can take multiple ideas from this book, but more importantly, we can learn a lot about vanity through this story. What is more important is that eternal youth probably won't exist in our lifetime, but we are looking and we are seeking to find it. But we want you to also think about this. We want to think. We want you to think about how important is your picture to you. How important is your own idea? How important is how you look to others for yourself? Is it that important that you could lose your life in trying to find a perfect body, a perfect face, or is it more important to work on yourself?
Well, and lastly, what are our opinion about this topic? Well, we see that it is important to look good, but it's also important to be good in the inside. We just don't want to be like beautiful, but we also want to be a good person, because as Dorian, he was perfect in the outside, but he starts to do bad things that make him horrible in the inside, and everything portrays in his portrait. And also all the consequence that my parents already told you can happen, because you have to be more than just vanity, just like a pretty face. You have to be like a good person and start to think about that. It is not good or bad being vanity. It's also what you are on the inside and how you reflect in the society. So this book teaches a lot of things, and we have to reflect on that, on being beautiful in the outside but also in the inside.